We got some more Dune Spice Wars. Everyone's favorite game, with a small population and a lot of dedicated fans. We
Oh my
have,
god, don't
we're
tell me
being
it's the...
treated. We're gonna be treated to a. Oh no, fuck! Maybe a server crash. It wouldn't be Dune without some technical bullshit going on. There's actually a decent lobby with some people brave enough to go all random. And let's see if this loads through. Hopefully someone didn't drop out. Everyone's here. Amazing. Okay, this is gonna be great. So we got Oryx here on Smugs. Roll Lingar and Stakhanov. Kind of hard to. Kind of hard to complain about that. And this will be fun. This will be Smugglers. Well, let's see what they got. We can always, provide some kind commentary. Stakhanov, you just play the Stakhanov strings, right? You just take regions away from each other. If you lose regions, you get half the authority back. Lingar just lets you roam the map, more or less indefinitely. That extra water helps. You get water sellers, make some money, but really it's about the early tempo that extra water gives you. Lets you run around the map and pillage people. We got Resrex, an anonymous person who's well known, playing ECAS. Actually has some, these are pretty great counselors, especially in this lobby. He can, give up territories with Mesa for a full refund on authority. The Nibovip's just all around good. So this is probably, S tier counselor choice for ECAS. But in a lobby like this, ECAS late game is okay into some of these, but the attrition war is real. And they have an amazing start here next to White Rift. Doing really smart move here of using this second Ornithopter to scout the terrain, to start planning how you expand to get an early Sanctuary. Here's a Plasker region definitely wants. So I think this makes a lot of sense as a starting Sanctuary. Or he may want to keep this as a Sanctuary and have this as another Sanctuary on this side. We'll kind of see what these quirks look like, but this is a very good little Plasker region you can start with. Really good quirks. In Atreides land, we got B-Frog, the many-time champion of many a Dune tournament, hailing from way down south. Oh, I love this. In Atreides as Yue and Young Paul, and Yue is a really, really great counselor if you're doing some border attrition war, right? Take damage to units, you run back, you regenerate faster, and then you re-enter, and you just kind of drain people down with manpower. But early on gives you extra health too. And sometimes with the Atreides you really struggle to manage water and Plascrete. So what you can do is Insulated Valley here, right? He's actually going straight down Yellow Tech. This is just some fucking classic B-Frog bullshit. I love this. What he can do is Atreides, right, is get it Insulated Valley. And like this region here, you'll have lower water requirements per building. So if you have 5 slots, you're essentially getting, 5 water from this region. So you can take these lower wind regions and really recover quite a bit from it. But otherwise, yeah. And then Fremen by Shiv, who I believe to be another Aussie or something of their kin. Going for a bold 2-warrior open. Now, Fremen warriors, they don't have the best, raw stats. They can't have gear upgrades that make them too super useful, but they're durable, right? The more units attack, and they get more armor. But early on, you kind of see what they struggle with, which is damage. So for 4 CP, you're getting 15 power, 5 attack speed. He might just lose these before he finishes there. Okay. What I recommend as Fremen is 1 warrior to tank, then an infiltrator, And then on your second build, you can get a skirmisher, another infiltrator, or whatever else you want. It doesn't really fucking matter. But the infiltrator will do a lot more DPS. Once that skirmisher is added in, those 3 units are going to be able to take on most 3 and even 4 villager garrisons. And the infiltrator does more damage against unarmored units. So, it's doing something smart here, which is to go for your fuel cells. The only downside here to taking this next is that this is a lower hanging cliff face. So this could actually theoretically be one of the Fremen sieges. And the downside there is if you are a normal Fremen, you get native customs at some point relatively early, you discover the siege there, you're going to miss out on that authority cost reduction. And Fremen's going down something. Again, this is what a lot of people will do, I think. Desert Wisdom or Native Customs into Freedom Fighters and Brotherhood at some point. That's some early red tech. And if you're going to go with Jamis and Ramallo, I think that's the way to play this. You could theoretically make a case for going Rack and Secrets. I think you're better off pillaging everything else early that you don't really need. There's actually a decent region here, though. But pillage that for sure. That's the spice field. Perfect. Pillage this spice field. Probably pillage that bullshit. Maybe want to take this if there's a siege there. But pillage all this bullshit, right? And he's actually in the corner of the map, which is interesting. Pillage all that. And then just get a bunch of ornithopters and scout more. And the faster you scout all this other stuff over here, the faster you'll find more sieges and siege spawns. And this is at a 16-day mark. So at 2 weeks, usually people get siege trays sent to their towns. So if we zoom out here and take a look at the map as a whole, Fremen has theirs sent out. It's day 16, coming from up here. ECAS probably should have theirs popping up soon. Maybe we missed it. Atreides Land 2 will have theirs, and of course Smugs. So this is around the time where if you're Fremen, you send out your ornithopters, and let's say you just look at a Fremen's view here, right? So he sees this guy's coming from this direction to his nearest village, lower hanging cliff face, and he lost a little bit of supply here. You can kind of track back and see he came from this territory. So get a probe set up once you have your first agent and find that. My mic. You know, figuring out my mic's always been a challenging thing for me to do. I hope I don't blow your eardrums. But if this is a sufficient volume, let me know. If not, I can always boost it. It's actually very smart for Beefrog. So Beefrog's found his first siege. It's a Fremen agent siege. This is great. And he's just going to annex. God. The cowardice. Early on, this is just influence that he's using that he doesn't need to use. So, you know, before you get cultural assimilation, which you should always get, just, you know, do it the old-fashioned way. Just send your guys, capture this territory, you know, just normally. With this here, I'd probably recommend it. I mean, he hasn't really scouted where Fremen is yet, but I'd probably wait until you get local native customs. That's just be authority cost reduction there. Okay, better than it was is that I'm just gonna keep trying. Okay. Overall, the layout here for Atreides isn't terrible to start. He is close to an ECAS. An ECAS, this is very close to Foliage, actually, not too far. There's going to be border skirmishes here, and you just have Jessica to really punish ECAS. Jessica is basically a defense against ECAS trying to do some nasty shit. In this case, right, ECAS is going to try to take this, which is a pretty bold move. That's pretty tough to deal with. Up to the north, ECAS actually is a very nice little spawn here. It has a worm's nest with a beautiful bunker against Fremen. Has a white rift. Has a bunker here in the deep desert. Forward facing the base, I mean, yeah, there's not really the area here for a bunker, but certainly in the middle, this could be a triple bunker should ECAS choose to take it, which would be very strong to defend against the front. And then over here has these two regions for bunkers. So ECAS actually has pretty good favorable terrain in every direction, right? It has a bunker. This is probably the most vulnerable, though, that ECAS would be. So this might be a later game push, hoping someone else take this early. For Smugs and Stakhanov, so what do you need to know? Take regions that are useful. Almost every region is going to need some combination of production because of how limited their initial production could be. So manpower building, yes. Usually a knowledge building as well, sure. Everything else, your eco, you're really going to be pillaging. So I wouldn't focus too much on the eco or the spice fields early. I'd focus on specials and things that are going to be useful. So something like Sandfall here, right? You're just going to maximize the upkeep to get a lot of extra knowledge. If you don't need water, I wouldn't build it in this region quite yet. But this should probably have a fuel cell as your fuel cell. Should probably have a research center, maybe a plastic factory, and a manpower building. And if you want to, you know, an airfield. But with 12 days to liberate this, it would take absolutely fucking forever. After this, though, you know, pillage this and then take one of these, and you'll have 2 Stakhanovs, right? Oh my god, did he just discover another one? What a legend, wow. Okay. Atreides getting some intel early, I love it.
We're focused.
Seems like he's just hanging out over here, getting the Atreides foreman already. Bold. Let's take a look up here in Fremen land. Fremen might just have an uncontested deep desert here, which would be the absolute fucking dream. He has a ceremonial cave in the corner in the Great Volcano. This comes double. So overall, looking at Fremen's thing, if he captures this desert, and this will get basically 2 caves from this one, 3, 4, potentially 5 caves, which is formidable. And then he'll have a bunker over here, kind of deeper in his territory over here. He needs to really find his sieges and hope that some are on this desert. But Fremen could certainly capture this desert and protect it. And this is enough stuff to really make the Fremen economy kind of work. The biggest downside is he's far from any special. His closest special is Volcano, which is great for Fremen, but second closest is Worm's Nest, which is, I think, closer to Ekaz, or maybe equidistant. The center is pretty inaccessible. And then way down in the south here is going to be all this smuggler stuff. So this is a kind of a tough one for Fremen to win. But we'll see how he does. You know, usually with this kind of combo, you want to get early red tech as Fremen. And then from this early red tech, usually in about a month or so, you can assault someone with about 55 CP. So the way you can get that kind of efficiently is, you know, you can come down this green tree early first. I actually recommend getting composite materials first for that extra plastic in case you have bad RNG. But some mix of these two, and then local dialect and native customs usually to increase your authority and reduce that cost of annexing. And then I would actually go for recruitment initiative, and if you're really getting aggressive, sky gazing, but somewhere down here to parallel training after that. And as you do that, with Ramallo, you're going to be finding spice fields, getting your harvesters out. This is going to give you intel. You're going to use your ornithopters to scout around and try to find out where these sieges are and you're going to search them. You'll pick up POIs like this one to discover Siege 2. And right now you should discover this one up here, pick up that one, discover another one down here probably. And then send out ornithopters to look for them. Once you've found a siege near somebody, right, using this information, Ramallo lets you actually have the intel to get those probes set up to find the siege. And once you find it, you ally it up, you trade a little bit, you get from solidarity before you attack, and then you'll have a place to stage your attack from. Ideally, you'll also have native customs. You take that territory to put up a military base, and then you can assault them with the ability to reinforce, to heal, to have a military base in the surrounding regions. And that's how you can really... It's very difficult to deal with that. With Jamis, when you're doing that attack, you'll basically, and you have parallel training, you'll do a timing push. So as soon as parallel training finishes, you should, which take about 8 days once you get down to this tech, you can slot into your 3 slot, right? You get manpower building, ideally. You get your 55 CP building, and then you can get your pivotal training slot in the third. And so by the time you're hitting, just shy of the 3-month mark, you'll have these finishing up. You'll have 65, 55 CP, and you'll have the others in queue. You'll have a siege. You'll have a military base next to them. And let's say you wipe each other, you'll be able to outproduce them by just trading your authority for manpower using Jamis' ability. I don't. It's extremely hard to not lose the territory if someone wants to make that push. And if he has caves, I think it's, good honor to be spoken for. But here, honestly, he's so far from people. He might be fine just, like, turtling up, but here is where the map knowledge might make a lot more importance. He doesn't know that he doesn't have any fucking any specials anywhere. He has one special. So he needs to either be really aggressive and expansive and try to capture these bunkers early. He's not going to hold this, for example. He might be able to take some of these. Or he has to think of another win con, but I don't know how he wins with just one special in the back. It's Fremen, he can't really win on hedge like that. Here in Atreides land, he's found 2 sieges. He's allying them up, very smart. He is being cagey. He must see already the devilry. Oh my gosh, another siege over here. Okay. He must see already what Ekaz is up to. And Ekaz probably is doing the best so far. Looking at his army, he's got 34 CP, which again is going to be perfectly comparable to everyone else. Maybe a dedicated smuggler who's, insistent on fucking someone up, or Fremen who's going for this month 2 into 3 timing push. Against almost everyone else, I think he should probably be okay at this point in the game. And he's doing what you should do, which is go for squires and muskets.
What's the plan?
Let's see, he's got a spice field here. He's got a nice little setup here for this. Look at this manpower production. Outstanding. 18 manpower from this one region. This is a really, really potent combo. Very nice. Then we take a look here. Yeah, 27. 28 almost. Doesn't have his manpower building up yet either. So once he gets a manpower or main base building up, and does he have his martial perfectionism? Once you get that main base building up, this is alone, this one region is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for him. Really nice. And up here, okay. So, he undoubtedly sees this up here, this bunker. And he's a good enough player that he knows this is important. This also is a fucking amazing region. Wow. So if he can keep this alive, and again, I think in this case, the question is, do you make this a sanctuary, this a sanctuary, this sanctuary? I think between these two, it just depends on what you want in terms of your, actually, no, scratch that. So if he took this, which I think fuel cells he'll need, so I wouldn't pillage this any further for him. I would take this, make this a sanctuary, and take this. And these two, of course. That'll give him, 1, 2, 3, equivalent of 4, equivalent of 4 specials for passive. He'll have bunkers up here, over here, in front of his base. He has 1 fuel cell available to him right here. And then up here, he actually has some pretty... This could be a region that makes you quite a bit of money. If this had an extra sanctuary next to it, this would be a really nice one. Over here, let's take a look at Fremen land. He's hanging out. I love it. The peaceful Fremen. He has a laptopter that's idling. So for the laptopter, the easiest way to complete this without fucking thinking about it is, let's say you start up here, you get your laptopter. You'll zoom out, you look at your closest specials, and you'll basically go, okay, it's either of these two. So send them over to the corner of the map, and then without even looking, you'll just shift click. You'll go here to the corner here, and you'll just do the complete perimeter of the map. And then after, you'll come to the middle, and there's usually 3 or 4 here. And then usually that'll get you 7 or 8. Sometimes you'll need to, leave the corner of the map to find wherever the other one is. But if we take a look here, once we remove the fog of war, we'd hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd hit 5 doing that, but we'd also see the location of all these other ones. Then we come to the center and we finish off with these 3 for 8. So the laptop request, you can just shift click around the map into the fog of war, come to the middle after you're back to your base, and that'll complete that. That's 3 knowledge in the bank.
Yes.
Poor little guy's stuck.
Caller on report.
Skilled, okay. Going Arrakis early. Okay. This can usually wait a little bit. Early on, the biggest limitation for Fremen being expansive like this, kind of a boom economy Fremen, is not going to be Arrakis, it's going to be authority. So native customs and outpost logistics, probably the 2 most important you need for a hedge win. In this case, you know, that's going to save him money on getting the siege regions, sure, but outpost logistics and scaling up everything. Now, again, he is Ramallo, so Ramallo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spice fields potentially here. It's made 2.5 authority a day. It's not bad. Looking around here, you know, Atreides is probably in the most vulnerable position relative to a neighbor. On one side, he's got a smuggler, which is never a fun matchup. On the other side, a very competent, perhaps evil ECAS player. And it looks... It's an interesting spot for the Garden Resort, actually. I wonder why this is. It's not making a ton. I mean, he can convert this into a data broker's settlement with versatile actually be okay, but yeah, I don't know. I might have chosen this one instead. But maybe he's thinking this is a defensive thing in the late game. You know, you put a missile battery up here and maybe bait people into stuff. The other option is something by a bunker, right? If he had one of these 2 regions as his garden, as a bunker might be tough to break. The missile turret here, if it aggroes any units nearby, tanks their Lancer at an authority. So it really is kind of a poison pill, especially if you're an acid base. So this is actually not a bad spot if you want to make this the Garden Resort, or even this one. The middle might be a little dangerous, but I think the middle in this case actually might also be a reasonable choice. But yeah, in the back here, he might just not want to get assassinated. That might be his play. He has a really nice spawn here, though. Look at this. Plascrete. This is good expansion. Looks like he's going to probably pillage this, I think. Okay, up here, Fremen is just waiting on authority. Now, if you're Fremen here, too, Fremen has a slight difference from the other factions in terms of how they work. A lot of factions have different things they can pick up. So for the smugglers, for example, right? Normally, this little mercenary icon, this is something you buy. Smugglers, you send a guy and it picks it up. You get guys in 1.5 days. For the Fremen, we take a look here. Right, it's 1,000 Solari almost to get these 2 guys. Similarly, for smugglers, if they want to pick up these Fremen ruins, these ruins are you know, you spend a bunch of Plascrete to get the authority, or you pick it up and get Plascrete. For the Fremen, that's just free authority, baby. So if you see this as Fremen, just run a guy out and pick it up. This is free authority sitting out here. And at this point of the game, that's about 5 days worth of authority. More than that, 6 days. Six days. So yeah, just run a guy out. And early on, if you want to be a weirdo, you could even get like stealth gear on someone, just to run around and pick up people's POIs and hang out at your sieges. But you know, it's a minor thing. But certainly pick this up. This is free authority for him to pick up. Other stuff you can pick up, right? Looks like you picked this up for influence, which is fine, and maybe not always what I would do. Up here, you can pick this bad boy up to find sieges. This is free money up here if you're not going to grab it. This over here, you know, I'd even, aside from running a guy out there, I'd even consider worming in to put a guy there. Okay, let's see how this is going to work out. This might be a little bit of tension. Okay, lands red stuff. So, the first thing they shall notice is that ECAS has negative influence reductions. They shall know that he's doing something fucky with the Spacing Guild. I love it. Aside from that, I mean, this is kind of anyone's vote. This is kind of rare. Of all these things, the one thing you can't really let happen is to let smugglers get private mandate. That's just too powerful. And so, unless they're at 5k, they can put a bounty on it, which they did. This is now a game theory approach, right? Do you take the money for yourself, knowing it's going to make someone else a whole lot stronger? And the answer is yeah. So we take a look at smugglers now, right? Smugglers right now should be rushing to 10k, right? So once you're at 10k as smugglers, you get additional resources from pillaging. So let's just take a look real quick, if we were smugglers, at what this costs to pillage. 1.2k, right? If we were to pillage an enemy village, 3.6k, 3.6k, 3.6k. Yeah, you know, you can see how lucrative this is. But even just these shitty, neutrals will give a ton of money this early in the game. Look at the show market and the prices. He could probably buy up to 30% with his private mandate if he wants to really be aggressive. And here, this is where you also consider splitting into two groups to pillage different sides of the map. This is a very risky spot for smugglers, though. So, you know, if Fremen has a big army, this might be an excellent opportunity to ambush. A lot of snipers near Fremen, so a few skirmishers do wonders against these guys. Gonna lose this wrecker, maybe. But he's going up all the way over here. He's gonna have to run back through this, so if he gets jumped, he's in some trouble. ECAS up here is just gonna run through. Let's see what else passed. Nothing really important. Okay. Oh, we see the Atreides Metastasis. I love it. So he's already set up here a water extractor. He set up a missile battery. He set up a crewman office and a spice field, airfield. And so at some point, this is going to be the next important place to fight. Now into ECAS, what do you want? Well, kind of depends on their comp. Generally for Atreides and their army, between your ranged DPS units, they're somewhat equivalent in terms of their damage, right? You get 23 here with a slower attack speed, so harder to micro, and you have a higher attack speed with less power. So, understandably, one is better at dealing damage against armored units, and one is better against lighter units. Now, the difference comes from the gear upgrades and other abilities. So, these heavy squads, because they're demo units, they ignore half the enemy armor. They also get additional bonus against mechanical units. So that already makes them have a deceptively higher damage that they're doing when actually attacking. So you can consider these guys debuffing enemies as well, right? In addition to, or rather in contrast to how suppressive fire works. Either of them are fine though. You just kind of choose them based on your matchup. The second thing is, what are their gear upgrades, right? So, additional range, super useful against snipers. In this lobby, if you're worried about smugs, right, snipers at 50 range, 49 range with this attack speed is enough that if they shoot you, you can kind of shoot back, and you can kind of trade into them, right? You can trade these higher health, higher CP rangers. You can kind of shoot down these snipers, which actually have relatively low health for how much CP they cost. So if you're Atreides, you want some bulk of rangers to deal with the potential sniper threat. Against armor, though, you probably want to use the heavy weapon squads. In between, of course, you want some sort of front line. Between troopers and wardens, they do slightly different things, but wardens tend to provide more buffs, they're just more expensive. They're more expensive in terms of upkeep, about twice as expensive, and they're more expensive in terms of the upfront cost of what they cost in Star to recruit. But you can see he's thinking about it. They're both kind of thinking about it. And it's nighttime.
You need a sniper.
Oh, gross. Okay. Let's see if we can find our Fremen friend. He's up here in the corner, grabbing spice fields and stuff. Fun. He's discovered quite a few of these sieges here. So he's got a Sand Brotherhood. He's got a border defense for any red tech. Oh my god, he's gonna try to go Gov? This guy's a lunatic. I love it. Something else to think about is if you're playing as Fremen and you decide to do a research agreement, or anyone for that matter, maximize the techs you don't have that you get research bonuses for. This will get you the most techs the fastest. And, you know, in this case, sometimes you can kind of predict what people are going to get. So Smugs usually has these three in the middle. So getting a research treaty with them, you can usually come down here to grab this. ECAS will usually get red techs somewhat early. Atreides will usually have some green bullshit, some blue bullshit if you want it. But you can kind of time your research treaties based on what you don't have. You can offer those out, and people usually take them. Alright. So Smugs has now done the brilliant thing of getting to 10k by taking a bunch of specials. This is just stacking off play. The next most routine thing now is, you don't even need to do this because you're going to pillage so much, is go for trinkets and get those up ASAP, and then just start cooking. Then you can kind of come down here, you can get this, you can get your illicit methods, and then you can come down border defenses and just play a pure, disgusting hedge game. There's also around the number of territories you need as smugglers to start making UHQs more worth it than territories. And so maybe one more special, or territory otherwise, so Mundu for example. And then you should really just focus on UHQs for a while. That's because you want all these territories to pillage, but at that cost to smugglers, let me see if I can find a good example of this, right? Everything on the map costs the same to them as base, so let's do this. So this territory, so it's all 123. So if he takes one more, it's going to spike to like 180 or so, something like that, 160, 180. That's going to be the cost of like probably 6 or 7 UHQs. And those 6 or 7 UHQs are going to give you about 8 hedge per day starting month 3, which is going to end up in being around 2k by the end of accumulated hedge. So at this point, if you already have these, you have the resources you need, you got your stacking off bonus, you got specials, and pretty good specials here too, right? You can probably kind of retire a little bit. He's doing great on his main base buildings too. Atreides, good. Command Post Recruitment Center. Foliage getting up and running, awesome. Siege Topper going for some interesting choices up here. So he wants to go Gov. He really does need to get Sand Diplomats up. Great. So yeah, he's gonna, I think, go for like a Gov rush. He just doesn't have knowledge of all the sieges yet. He doesn't have them allied. So this is kind of the big foil. Is, you know, theoretically Fremen can do this if you have Stilgar. You can do a push like this, where you get Fremen Solidarity early, you get green tech, you get villages, so you're eligible for Gov, you ally them all up, and then you surprise people, or you force someone to betray to lose their votes before your Gov vote. Then you can make a push. And if you have that, and maybe insider trading, maybe you can eke it out, but holding on to it's really, really tough. He might lose his village too. Be a shame. Oof, brutal. Interesting. No, I'd usually say, if you're ECAS and you have Ibobib, anytime there's a all factions suffer, I would just put your equivalent immunity taint on that, and then just vote the shit out of it. Like, if you have labor rights, or let's say this tax for everyone, make yourself immune, and then just bump it up. and it's you giving that to 3 other people while exempting yourself, and they're going to have to put a ton into it. And when you do that, you basically will take those other votes you get, those that kind of free dirty vote that you're afforded, right? These 30 votes, and you can just put that towards something else that you might want. Maybe you'll get it with some luck of the minor houses. But yeah, ECAS is a very, very solid position here. Only real risk to being this wide, it's going to be of assassination, but he's actually got a good setup here, right? One cell search here should always be on your, almost always be on your sanctuary or your garden. So that'll get these 4 regions, rather. You need 1 for the center for this space cruiser wreck, and then you need 1 right here. Or I guess 2 actually, I'm sorry. So right now you said 4, needing 4 searches, which is actually a little bit heavy. But you know, that's the perk of taking this territory, the fault, instead of this one for your sanctuary. If you take this and leave this as a sanctuary, the bonus is that this one cell search would take this region, this region, this region, and this region. So for ECAS, I think strategically between these 2, I don't think either of these are particularly good quirks. Or I'd argue maybe this one's still a bit more useful. But it's really about the assassination potential, right? I suppose also with this region you could theoretically have a redundancy bunker here between the spice field here and White Rift, but that's the only real reason to switch these around. Let's see, okay, so yeah, I think he was eyeing his garden here to get a second sanctuary from it. Trades land. Trades has some army up now. 65 CP looks great. He's getting Proud Liberator, so he's gone yellow tech, red tech. He is just ready. This is some old school badass shit. Looking at his economy and everything, he's doing okay in the research department. ECAS is 31, absolutely steamrolling ahead on the research. Lay of the land, research center, scientist. Great.
Arrakis is our home.
And this is a pretty formidable ECAS setup. Right? 1, 2, 3. 3 specials with White Rift. Bunkers here. A deep White Rift. And then potentially another bunker here on Acid Lakes. I think this is a pretty solid setup. His main risk here is if he loses this region to Atreides, who can obviously get more turrets up in this region than he can, and out-attrition him with the use of UA. This would be normally an engagement that I might favor ECAS over Atreides, but this might be a situation here where I actually favor Atreides in taking this stuff out. And he's doing the smart thing here, which is to just farm these renegade bases as much as you can for experience, right? With Paul, you can make a decision to pillage sieges or not. But you can see how fast these guys regenerate health. Look at this. Ticking up. Like they're Vernius bots or something. And each time you do this, they're going to have more max health. That max health is what's going to get increased by Proud Liberator once your land's red standing gets up. So this is really smart stuff. Smuggler down here doing smuggler stuff. Always fun. And they're actually in war with each other.
Tell me, Chief.
Looks like they're in some conversation, though, between them. Smuggler might be wanting to clap some cheeks. Everyone's kind of posturing up a bit here. So Fremen's gonna maybe capture this desert. This is an exciting time for our enterprising Fremen. Who, we always have to root for Fremen. Capturing this is gonna be nice. Decapping these is very important. This is a bunker. This is potentially contested territory. Now, Fremen into bunkers can be kind of rough. What does he need? He needs to take this territory. He needs to get a military base up. He needs to have ready a thumper. And if he can get in here when ECAD's out of position and knock out an airfield, and there's not a redundant airfield, that's potentially one where he could win this, right? You can come here, try to clear out all his militia, take out the airfield, come back, heal up before Yukaz can run all the way over here. But right now Yukaz, I don't think has any redundant airfields nearby. It's just that one. So you worm in, target that airfield, kill the militia, heal up, and then go about your day. Okay. Oh, he's so excited. I'm excited for him. This is great. So great. It's good he's getting his donkeys, most importantly. Then I'll come down here for recruitment initiative. Now, again, the other risk to doing something like this is what are you giving someone else? So let's see with whom he has this. He's got a research treaty with, okay, yeah, this is fine. It's smugglers. Smugglers, I don't think is necessarily going to want to get border defense straight up. It is giving Fremen all sorts of good tech that Fremen wants. From synchronized heist or military propaganda all the way down here to trinkets. But this is the right idea to start going for this. So we've got the Fremen Dream with triple blue. This is interesting. So he needs to ally these sieges. That's how the Algaib Temple and Sand Diplomats works. Is you get one influence per allied siege, which costs authority to do for Fremen. And Algaib Temple increases your cap. With that said, it's just not gonna be enough to overcome the voting power of the other three factions. Interesting. Okay. Now, when it comes to the mighty Fremen's deep desert bonuses, the biggest one is assassination defense. So you can search this deep desert, and you'll search all of your territories at once. It makes it a lot harder to kill a really wide play like this from Fremen. 2, you control it, and so it counts as a territory, counts for 600 hedge, so you can spike by capturing this late. You could spend authority to capture this, but you also will be capturing this in essence, so you'll go up 1200 instead of 600. Third is the perks granted to you by Air Varakis, which is kind of an, it's not a conveniently placed tech. You're not going to usually want to get this, but 20% authority production is based off your base authority. So this ends up being similar to military propaganda in terms of how much it is. In the late game, it's about 2 authority per day. So it's not nothing. It's 2 sieges you can ally, or just, stock more authority for your hedge win. Militia power gets increased, but it doesn't really matter too much. But finally, it's the Deep Desert Control Investment Office, which can actually be really nice for the Fremen Eco. The Fremen Eco tends not to be super powerful. In this case, though, you can see the quirk applications. He has 7 militia slots if he puts an investment office of 8. Now, 8 militia is some Hark level shit. You throw in a triple red. Let's see if there's militia seats. There isn't. But you can have Fremen militia with like 1,000 health, and there can be 8 of them who are stealthed for some fucking reason. And it is a pain in the butt to deal with that and some missile batteries. So that's one option. Over here, right, this is grade 2 plunderers and the scavenger network. So if you're fighting and defending, you get money. But also, just make this a triple red, right? So you got military buildings here. You have a cave, that'll be 1 red. You have a manpower building. You have a missile battery and a military base. I'd probably put, honestly, instead of manpower building, just 2 missile batteries here since you have border defenses. And then bunker this up, right? This is kind of a front-facing place. And then for this one, you might, you probably don't have to put any stealth detection, but look at this. 7 militia coming up. Beautiful. Over here, this is easy to get, right? You could always put a detection building here. I'd probably put an intel building instead for your to get your blue in here, and that'll also give you 3 manpower, which after the multipliers is going to be something like 4 or 5 manpower. This one, it's only 2 wind power, so I wouldn't actually bother with the water trader's quirk, but this can be a very strong quirk on high wind regions. This is outstanding. So take a look at how much money he makes off this fucking region. So I don't think he has. Yeah, he's Mason skilled. He doesn't have admin hall, I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't have admin halls. So this is just giving him 10 in regions that are built out like this one. So if we do the math here, he's got 10 from Ceremonial Caves, from Shared Transcendence. He gets another 10 from Mason's Guild it being completed. He gets 4 application local sourcing, that's 60. And then he's got 4 applications of Versatile. So that gets him probably up to 100. And then he can actually get this higher. So by allying these sieges nearby, each of these are going to increase by 10% the resource production. And so he could probably get them to 130 or so. And once he gets an admin hall up, that'll probably be closer to 140. So this little region that seems kind of not particularly special actually makes a ton of money thanks to some of these quirks and these building interactions. And so the Fremen economy, like, his villages here, without everything being built up, he's making a ton from that. He's making more from this one village than he is almost all of his spice that he's selling. Over here, yeah, this one too. You know, if you wanted to make this, I think maybe this investment office is wasted. I don't know if you need these other applications here. So I would just put like a wholesale market just to complete it, or if you need a main base building, right? You could put like something like that there. He's got, look at this, 3 caves here. Up here, right? Free manpower building, essentially. Up here, whatever. And he's definitely gonna put a main base building here. This is gonna be a dirt cheap main base building, whatever he wants. Okay. Now it looks like the trap has been sprung. And it looks like Atreides is engaging with our friend over here. He's left 1 guy to capture this territory, very smart. And I can't quite tell yet. Okay. You do not want to fight him here. This is not a fight you want to take. But he's doing it. And he's doing the smart thing. He's targeting all these muskets, which are weak.
What's the plan?
Very smart play from Atreides here.
Shouldn't we be going, sire?
And this is very smart. So you might look at this and say, you know, why did this go so strongly in favor of Atreides? Every single, so Atreides dropped scav team, probe setup, support intelligence on top of the Ikazi ops. And so Atreides got 25% damage reduction in that territory, which is a huge amount. But that kind of really swayed this region. Now that it's outside of it, you know, if they fought in this region, for example, I think it's much more favored to Ikaz just because he wouldn't have that bonus. But really, really good play from Atreides. Unlucky with the worm there. He's able to take out all these lightly armored muskets.
How can I assist you?
He's just going for the veterancy here. A couple of drones would be great. Save all this important veterancy Atreides build.
Awaiting command.
The question here is going to be attrition, right? So does Atreides have manpower? He does. Does he not have a parallel training building up? He doesn't. Oh no. So parallel training, another 2 slots. Atreides will have 2 more reinforcements driving before Ikaz does. Looks like he will actually... Oh, he's capturing this region up here. This is a very good play. He's going to fortify that up top. And, you know, this is kind of the time where if you have some... focus on some map awareness as Fremen, this is when you can actually worm in and take these 2. Ikaz is fighting Atreides. They're kind of knocked out. They don't have a whole lot of units left anymore. Atreides doing a really good job microing here. Look at this. It's outstanding.
Yes. Awaiting orders. We're focused.
And these guys can outrange the muskets here. Remember that. So if you wanted to come back here, take out these muskets, he can sit in the periphery here and try to shoot these by kiting around this little rock. So it looks like he's going to lose this village here. He will. Oh my gosh. Trades got shafted. Fremen rebels came and chased his, or maybe lost his Landsgrad. Came up here. It's very apropos that while I'm staring at Fremen's desert quirks, there's actually shit going on. Okay, this is a fucking
Ready to strike.
mostly vetted
We're listening.
smuggler army over here. For smugs, the late game power spike that they get, really good job building out the main base, by the way. One thing that arguably might be missing is, instead of embassy, going with black market branch, which really helps with your
You need a
transition
sniper.
into spice eco. So, you know, once you have underworld contacts, you basically spam UHQs. You, in each village, will get 2% more spice production, and then on top of that black market branch, so every UHQ you have, you get another 1%, so 3% per. You might have 20 UHQs by this point in the game, and that's, you know, 60% more spice production globally, which is an insane amount. So Fremen's gonna... Oh, these are allied Fremen units. That's why he can stand here with them. Looks like he's gonna take this away. And if you're ECADs there, you abandon that. You get your authority refunded. But not like he has any need for authority right now, jeez. Man, this Atreides is a little bit in shambles here economically. Wow. Really hurting.
What's your order, sir?
Interesting choice. Yeah, so smugglers and their late game power spikes. So the UHQs is one part of it, the transition to a spice tech. Number two, you can see what he got here. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is also very smart. So every village that has good knowledge production, you take this. For one upkeep, you get some fraction of knowledge production. In this case, 2.3 is really, really good. That means for one upkeep, you're basically getting almost almost a research hub, which is normally, you know, like 16 upkeep. So that's a really good deal for UHQ. If you have decent Plasticated Slurry, you can always put down one that adds those two and takes a third. If you've got really high water or fuel cells in a region, that could be nice. This one, for example, this would just make you a ton, right? You get 30-something slurry from this passive. And then maybe you'd take knowledge, maybe you'd want to get water. This one too, I'd just get the slurry, the knowledge probably. But everything else where it's kind of useless, you know, you can just get you get 2% more spice production. The big power spike though is these major extensions. So if you see a triple red somewhere that, you know, has it early, or you know they're not gonna mix it up a bit, that's 15% of your power that you're missing out on, and that power hits all your units. So your free company end up shredding armor, right? They have over 18 power at that point, which is an insane amount. But they have twice the attack speed of most units. Your snipers will do even more damage too, right? A lot of this damage scales off your power. So getting up that triple red boost is super important. Triple blue is going to give you more max influence for kind of bullying your way in the land strat. You can usually take a look at who has the most harvesters. In this case, it's probably, should be Fremen. Could be, yeah, probably Fremen. And for every harvester, you can, I think it's 15 spice. So you can kind of divvy these up. For triple yellow district, I think you get, I want to say it's 30 per yellow. And so, you know, here you can get 90 slurry passive. So shopping these around is super, super, super important to get that late game power spike. You get passive income, but you also get military bonuses. And then against like Fremen or whoever you're gonna aggress, you can always put in one that gives you plus, I think it's +2 armor in enemy regions. So while you're attacking, you get a little extra durability. It's a very, very good faction. It's just there's so many intricate ways to exploit their benefits. And he's just playing very passively with the players. I think it's to his benefit. He's got good chome. He should be cooking plenty of hedge here, yeah. Behind Ekaz, right? But some of this should be from his UHQs. So you see here he only has 6 from his UHQs, making 200 right now. If this number's higher, which if he has any authority, he'd just be dumping it in UHQs. That's just passive that he's going to build. So this method's good. This industrial scavenging is worth him getting relatively earlier, though. Not just for this upkeep production, which alone is worth it, in the sense of being something like 40 or so, sometimes even 50 slurry that you save per day. But also the second slot, all the gear upgrade on Smugs for everyone is actually pretty solid, right? Motivational Cortex is amazing, increased attack speed. This is a good one. You could do Hasten here. In a pinch, you can also do dismantling tools. People don't usually do dual guns, but if you have really good micro, you could make this work in some cases. Here, you want to go for this propelling ammo. Over here, usually I'll do this one. Stinging gas, just extra damage dealt. And then over here, I like this slow one. I think it synergizes well with the Wrecker, but people like to get the heal and the armor. It's also a fine combo. So Smug's getting a slurry reduction. Fremen, bold move, bud. You almost had it. So close. Fremen Rebellion goes through, and then foreign recruitment on Smugs. And when you have Ramallah and you're doing this, so it's kind of a lot to take for some people, but if you take a look at when the land strat's coming up as Fremen, a day before or so, get your guys into position where you think they might, you might want to attack. Make sure they're healed up, make sure you have your operations ready, and then as soon as that thing is about to start, just be ready to thumper your way to wherever you want to attack. Because as soon as that hits, the enemy army might be in disarray, right? They're going to be low on water, they'll be putting out fires, they're going to, not be making hedge, not be getting their spice tax in time. That's when you can attack and really throw them into disarray, because their army might be preoccupied with other stuff. And that's when you kind of take advantage of the land strat. So, for Fremen, yeah, you can do this. It's probably more useful, though, if you can, take a contested territory during that time and bunker it up by the time people can respond. It's a little too late. All this seems in order, though. Oh, okay. This is a lot of Ekaz units. Ekaz might be going for a kill
we
here.
serve to the best of our capacity.
That is a unhappy Kraken.
Yes.
Should turn in and do some skirmishing here with his rangers. They should outrange these
We got the big game
muskets. You
rifles.
should be able to peel back some of these Perfecti units. Oh, Landsrat's part interesting.
We are ready.
At your command, my lady.
So Atreides still putting out this rebellion up here. And Atreides really struggling with eco here. This Imperial base he hasn't had a manpower building up in ages, and Ekaz is just destroying these guys, getting more manpower off of Atreides. Atreides has almost no manpower production. Jeez. It's just free hedge
my
with
lady.
her, right? But this is a time when Fremen attacking can really do some harm to Ekaz.
Who can forget the tales of
He is
Ducleto's gallant
left with the
men?
CP. He's capturing this. Okay, he's making a little bit of a trade here. this is something usually can't happen if Jessica's in the lobby. So if you have a choice, Jessica's probably the right choice in any lobby in which there's an ECAS. Because here, you'd force truce, and they're basically out of your hair. They can't betray that. You'll rebuild. You have time to recover. Very smart. So it's able to salvage some of these buildings, too. Good. Oh my gosh, does ECAS see this smuggler army? He sees some units. It looks like he's preparing to fight. He's gonna take it. Okay. I don't... Yeah. This is one where support intel is going to do a ton of help. And again, you don't go for Whitmore. You go for all these squishy guys in the back. Let the snipers deal with Whitmore. Whitmore's down. They can easily make this push here. All the DPS is fleeing, right? They're under 2 missile batteries, though. Free Company are going to get mulched. Look at this range DPS in the back. Jeez. It's getting kited through missile batteries. This is not where you want to be as Smugs. He's just going to take missile batteries to the face here. And ECAS might defend this, surprisingly. Again, standing underneath these missile batteries is just not going to pay dividends for him. All the sniper DPS here is dead. Kraken's slowly coming in to absorb some of those missile shots, but I think a little too late. Oh, good lord. Oh, that was brutal. Shai-Hulud is feasting. These are some of those UHQs are super helpful. Now, if he pillages these, for example, with Banerjee, he can actually regenerate if he has UHQs on these. I actually don't think he has UHQs on these, which is kind of an error, right? You can get UHQs here with dead units giving you Solari. That'd be nice. UHQ with Banerjee, you can replenish your health and your supply. Looks like ECAD's gonna fly north to Fremen, who's doing as we said. Fremen looks like met the missile batteries and got to experience that. That's fun. And he does not seem to have his red tech, because his red tech would have pulled in some homies. Oh, he has the red tech. He's not allied? He is not allied. It's a shame. He could have been allied too. I think this is ultimately the right idea from each of them. Smugs, you know, I think you don't want ECAS to be too strong. I think that Atreides is adequately set back here. He's going to hold on to and retain, I think, these Stakhanov regions. He could maybe try to sneak raid Volcano if he wanted, but... You know, resetting some of these boundaries for Atreides might keep a bulwark against ECAS expanding. And I'm sure if Atreides had to make a choice between attacking ECAS and attacking a smuggler later in the game, they'll probably have a little more animus towards ECAS, so... This is probably the right move from him. Take a look here at the land strat. So, sale incentive probably goes on to Smugs. Smugs probably bounty someone else. ECAS here can do labor rights, really fuck everyone. And it looks like we already know what Fremen's doing. I actually like this a lot. This is going to probably take ECAS off his back if he gets this through. And look at this. There's a huge hidden Fremen army with Othame. So, okay, good. He's got some good upgrades here. Got everything he needs. There's the Fremen Rebellion, so you can see it's disabled this bunker we spoke about before. And so he's not getting any hedge from this building. over here he says that airfield enabled. So he may very well realize, Ekaz, that he's in some trouble here, right? So he might decide he needs to go clear this before he goes back north. He's going to lose 2 territories. He's bleeding this stuff out. He's going to attack these, heal up, and then maybe he'll fly north. I just don't think he has time. I think this goes to Fremen. So really good use of Romalo's ability there. It also seems like Atreides is still trying to stabilize here. He really needs to get good. He's got manpower up now. He needs to get his parallel training building up too. He's going to go to double red here. And I think he could probably benefit from an admin hall or something. I think he's still struggling economically quite a bit. Take a look here. Everyone is just passively suffering from the military upkeep. Oh, wow. A fun game. Alright, they're flying north. Really good pillage here from Fremen. If I'm Hina, you run when you see that fly over. The hiding tracks here would get him out. It looks like great, awesome. Now, when you use hiding tracks, you almost never want to use it on the region you're in. You want to use it on a region adjacent with other adjacent regions. So here, it'll cover these 2 regions. It will not cover this region or the deep desert. So if you put on Worm's Nest, right, there's no risk of getting captured because there's no enemy units there. Oh, Worm Road, interesting. Put it on Worm's Nest, and it'll cover all these adjacent regions, and he won't have any idea which region you're actually in. But he's just decided to worm right out. I respect it. Now, Fremen's actually got all of his yellow tech that he kind of needs, other than maybe chum support, right? Yeah, no chum support yet. Man these guys up. Make some money, Fremen. Jeez, take a bow. Living the Fremen dream. Look at this. It's beautiful. 8 militia. 8 fucking militia. Love it. Atreides trying to do some cheeky bullshit. Smug's just gonna sit here and pillage, I assume. I don't think he ever made his transition into a spicy go. But looking around, he's got a harvester. He's got 2 harvesters that are crude. We take a look at his spice production. It's really just about that. So every enemy spice refinery should have a UHQ. So this one over here, right? Once you get that spice tech, you just look around for every spice field. You grab this one, you grab this one, you grab this one up there, and you effectively will get like a third or so of everyone else's spice production. And if it's 3 house players or Carino, that ends up being something like another player's worth of spice. On top of that, your UHQs will give you global amplification once you get your black market branch in those extensions. And so if you look here, right, he gets 100 from the villages, UHQs 24, Harvest Union 7. And so it scales up as you get your UHQs spammed out. And at some point, your production, your spice production, you're going to basically make as much as someone else just by existing. You won't need any fields to actually do that. All you'll need is everything else. And let's say you'd put that yellow building here on Fremen. That's 5 times 15. That's another 75 base spice production. Basically another field. So if you actually optimize this mid-game transition into a spice tech as smugglers, at this point, he would be making probably something like, what's a third of this? 50, 30, 80, probably around 300 spice, probably, something like that. Probably a bit more if he actually had his UHQs and black market branch up. But that ends up being really tough to do in addition to the pillaging. That's a hard thing to contest in a lobby.
Arrakis is our home.
So you see, Ekaz certainly flew a bit close to the sun here. I appreciate the hustle. Working on Harvester Works now. Might be making a play to switch out some of these buildings for yellow masterpieces. That's my guess. He's also getting fuel cells. And he's going to have to make a play back up here for Worm's Nest at some point. Looks like he's capped on his manpower. Maxed out in his army.
Yes, my Lady Archduchess.
Lots of muskets.
We're eager for new adventures.
Okay. This is tough. I mean, Atreides now has a really nice bunker here in the middle. Absolutely brutal. And again, I think if you're Atreides here, right, I like having an airfield here. I would take another airfield and put it far away as redundancy. Yeah, Smug's in a really solid spot. Fremen is just hanging out in the corner and just like happy as a fucking clam. I've never seen such a happy Fremen just like hanging out. Did some liberation, has a beautiful desert, it's in the shape of a heart, a human heart. He's got his caves. He's missing this Spice Orgy cave. That's the only thing he's really missing. And I mean, this is a fight. He can win this fight, right? This is a lot of squishy stuff. That when this goes down, he's left with, I don't know, 30 CP, 40 CP of you know, without the wreckers, the Free Company are good. They're just like not going to deal with a whole Fremen army. We'll see how he does this. Ekaz getting control markets on him. Fremen are going to pass another rebellion. I love this. And Architectural Survey is going to be pretty interesting. We'll see if that prompts an attack on Arakeen. Operations looks like smugglers and infocell. Oh my god. Brutal. This is incredible. Wow. Rebellions are excellent, right? So, pretty close to time for Fremen to make a play for these. You know, I think a Thumper might be tough to place properly because of this border here. But I think you know, you worm in here, you take these two villages, you bunker them up like crazy. 4 missile batteries. It's gonna be pretty hard to dislodge them.
Yes, sir?
And that'll all happen, I think, before Ekaz can clear this. We'll see if he makes a play. He has an airfield up here. So he must be eyeing this as the next spot to go to. Certainly seems that way.
To serve you.
Listening. Muskets are loaded.
So in the fight between these two,
At your
a
command,
Fremen
my lady.
Ekaz later game fight, it's going to depend on who gets the jump. If Ekaz is bunched up like
What's the
this,
plan?
skirmishers and some Fadakin can wipe out all this DPS. If they're spread out and it's a head-on engagement, Ekaz will usually win that. Okay, you see him going north. So a Thumper here is one possibility, and a Thumper's going to force him onto solid land where he can't spread out quite as much. Worm's Nest already kind of passively does that. It attracts Worm really quickly when you're fighting. But right here, if he can worm in here, okay, there's Thumper. A little unnecessary because there's also this neighboring region. But you'd want to worm in here and attack and try to get this clump.
Honorable knights at your service.
And if you're going to worm in and do this, 2 things. 1, you really need to Ide Alacrab, which he almost has, so he's so close. And 2, when you use Chani's ability, it'll compound with that, and you got to use it after. Oh, it's Othame, actually. I'm sorry. You have to, if you did have Chani, you'd use that ability after you get out of this worm. So he's not stealthed here. He'll be visible. He's not going to get any bonus from this worm riding other than it looks awesome. There's the Gushy Center. Now, with Othame, you keep the stealth and you run him away. just going to die, and now he's down in authority. He's going to wipe out a bunch of these, should wipe out these next, and then I think he's okay. And again, this was a clumped up thing as he focused on Oath Theme, he got these things wiped. But I think Ekaz might be okay here. It'll depend if he can kill these feds. You guys should be fine. But with the Oath Theme, what you do is you keep them in a nearby region away from other units. You want him to have them within his long-range aura effect to debuff their damage. But the moment he's spotted, he'll go down pretty quick if they want to focus him, especially Ekaz. It's really good single target damage. Fremen here, unfortunately feeding a little bit of hedge to our mystery Ekaz person. Atreides is looking for some revenge, though. Maybe I'm going to go for this airfield here. A play that I think is not bad. Looks like Smug's just doing Smug stuff. Still hasn't really made a meaningful transition into a spice eco, but that's Chome Branch, yeah. I mean, so you know, this is kind of one of the design things with Smugs is you can't have a lot of territories. Stack Cutoff makes them just have more production, right, and harder to take in lieu of having bunkers. But that means you really have to use your authority. It's such an important resource, and the UHQs are so stupidly powerful. If you have a UHQ in a territory, you can take POIs in that territory. So let's say you have one here on the spice field. You get spice, you have UHQs that amplify that spice production, you can get another, 10 Solari from this. Then you can actually pick up this POI with the money you have and have more authority to then put down another one and another and so on and so forth. So especially with Banerjee and having HQs everywhere to replenish and resupply, it's super, super powerful. But if he's floating all this authority, you can't spike as easily as you used to with smugglers. And if you're going to do this, you might as well just split up and raid things multiply. Or farm these, level it up, get a Wraith up, and keep that for defense. So, state of the game. It's a little tricky, okay? Ekaz can spike better than anyone, but they don't have crazy high passive, right? They only have, well, with White Rift, counting twice, they have essentially 4 specials, and they have some decent bunkers again. Well, they had one up here, and they have one down here, and one in front of the base. They have Sanctuaries in cap, so I'd say they have 1, 2, 3 in Hidden Hedge, so 1,800. A Spice Tax, another 1,200, so 3,000. So I say 3,000. I look at their passive, I say, okay, they're making probably going to be like 40-something a day. So in 20 days, it's going to be like 1,600. So they're probably sitting a month or 2 away from winning. Probably 2 months. If they want to be really aggressive, and let's say they can come up here and wipe all this stuff out with their champ, right, and get 800 hedge, that's where Ekaz is tricky. Ekaz can spike like crazy, but it's running rampant through militia. So this 8 militia village, this is a potential liability. This is 800 hedge in trophies, plus another 4, 1,200 hedge from killing this, another 800 here. So, 2 months I expect him to win by just capturing sanctuaries. But if he wanted to go ham, he could run through Fremen territories after Fremen's wiped, just admin burden, just go all the way through and wipe them with a Champ Knight or with Whitmore getting a hit on each one, and he could easily skyrocket his hedge and win in 1 month. That's the trick with Ekaz in the late game. You don't need to even have a hero, just any kind of champ. You need 1 hit on anything, and if it dies in that combat moment, you'll get a trophy for it. Oh, really piling on here. I love it. Oh gosh. Looking over here, Atreides always can peacefully annex stuff. They don't have any passive. They're below other people on hedge. They're ahead of Fremen for sure, but that's about it. And then Fremen is just hanging out. Not gov eligible. I thought it would be buying more Chome, but huh. Finally got their parallel training up. Let's see what else we have here for Fremen and Fremen land. Yeah, hasn't really really just using his authority, I think, to get rebellions everywhere, but yeah, nothing too crazy, it seems. So hasn't found a bunch of the sieges either. And it looks like they're going to be rebuilding Oathlane in the interim. So now this is one where I'd have an issue with this Fremen, because this is a really important special for Fremen to have. This is 10% extra power, and so if I'm Fremen, this is you want this more than any other special in the game. And also, Smug's stacking on. Does it take forever to liberate? With that said, you got Jamis. So you have 2 sieges here. You ally these up. You attack this. You liberate. You'll get probably 8 Fremen Raiders that'll sit there and just hold it for you. So of all the factions of the game, Fremen's probably one of the best at holding against a stack and off region. You have stealth units. You have, neutral NPC units that can kind of hold this for you. But this should be a pretty easy liberate here for him, and he'd probably want to take both these things off to keep him off the border. It's also going to be, authority that he gets, which he needs to, well, theoretically to capture this, but other stuff too. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not entirely sure how Fremen's gonna factor into this, but still looks like there's a little bit of a tenuous piece. I like this introduction of the Hawks. Always fun to see flying units that don't get a see a whole lot of daylight. I think the only thing I've ever really used a Hawk for was hunting an assassin once. That's pretty fun.
Proud to serve, sir.
Do you need the Kraken, sir?
Some of these units are so cool too. Big dope ass blimp. Compared to, well, I don't know what else to call this shape other than, it's pink. It's pink, it's got some ladylike qualities to it. It really looks like fallopian tubes, It's a uterus, or it's like, I think it's supposed to be, like some shoulders up here and some little dwarf head and a neck and like some, I don't really know. It's a Rorschach test for God knows what. Let's take a look over here. We have the Hawk Patrol chipping away at the rebels.
Yes, sir.
Hawks, like, the DPS is like not bad for 3 CP. It's just it's really high attack speed, really low power. So this actually goes pretty hard into unarmored units. But usually range units are unarmored, right? Snipers have no armor, but snipers would shoot these in a second.
Chief?
Wreckers have no armor. Wreckers actually might be killable by those. Skirms for Fremen would do jack shit. Donkeys are anti-air. So the problem with them being really good against unarmored units is that unarmored units are usually their counter. So either you have to have superiority and micro them during a battle, which gets actually pretty useful. Or you go after stuff, rapidly. So let's say you see an assassin. A couple of these will shred an assassin in a couple seconds. So you can use that to patrol and deal with, assassination rushes and stuff. But ECAS is a bit of a Rorschach test. Like, I'm trying to look at their layout and their sanctuaries, and I don't even know what I see. I don't know what I want to see. Like, what angle is this anyway? I think if I had to say what this looks like, I want to say it's like some sort of like, I don't know, some ancient sea creature, like a Loch Ness monster. I see like a neck up here with a head, and then some sort of weird, neck bone sticking out the back. And this has got little feet. It's got a few little feet here and a little rump. And it's so beautiful. I mean, the sanctuaries, the quirks. There's something very, very satisfying about ECAS. Take a look at this, right? It just got some data brokers, that's all. Beautiful. He's got some little sanctuaries here. That's fun. It's just it's so peaceful, and it's pink, and it's everywhere, and it's building art. Except for this region. This region is kind of whack. Fremen goes for just a look at my blob. I did good, and it feels warm. Again, heart of Arrakis right here. Very, very serene. Totally cool. Embassy. Oh, okay. He wants to go for his Gov push. Does he have what it takes to be Dune Gov? I don't think he's found all of his sieges. He's certainly not allied up his sieges. He has that one. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he doesn't have this allied up, traded up yet. So, yeah, he's gonna have some trouble. He hasn't found some sieges, and he hasn't allied up some. So, I believe if he pillages this one and leaves this pillaged, I believe he can still get Gov. Yeah, ally all active sieges. So it's an inactive siege. He's okay getting rid of one of them. So maybe that's a way he can do this. But he still needs to ally the other. Atreides, you know, is just fucking all over the place. Not in like a cute way, in like a look what I stole. But I mean, you know, Gurney's having a dope time with the lads over here. He's got the Hawks. He's got an Air Force. Like, this is fucking awesome. This is some lore accurate shit. This army's gonna get stopped though by ECAT if they come in, but
new adventures.
oh my god, I love this. So let's see where these infill cells are. One down there. Always put one over here, because you can't abandon that. One over there. And, oh, okay. This is fun. Okay. So Fremen's making 31 influence a day. You know, that's neat. Might be able to pump those numbers a bit more with his Algaib Temple allying more sieges, but we'll see. The other thing Fremen has that it can use to his advantage here is he has a lot of border territory, right? Influence building here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could have another 7 influence, which for Fremen, let's see what that would be. For Fremen, yeah. That'd be a pretty whack amount, because that'll get all of his multipliers too. This charismatic multiplier from embassy, all those things are going to be increased as well. Political agreement, so he'd be making well over 40 influence a day if you were to load up these regions with some influence buildings. And this guy needs to be pretty careful here, because this guy can get detected by some ever vigilant big game rifle hunters. Look how sneaky this little fucker is. Look at this pathwing. Oh my god. This is fucking heroic. Oh my god, so you can do it. he's in. He's got quite a while to go now. And is he going to be able to have enough of this? He needs to start thinking about, you know, get a unit over here, pick up this POI, queue up this one, have the guy pick up this one, queue up that one, pick up that one. So you see him already kind of sending people out. But this is going to be important for buying his assassins. Let's see up here. Front of potato looks like it's still keeping warm. ECAS is dancing with the Hawks here. We see some excellent micro. This is some S tier APM. You can see him just waiting to bait ECAS away. And then attack. Here he comes. So you guys are going to head north and deal with the Fremen. Now, this is risky, right? This is where I think an experienced player, if you're Fremen, you see this and you run. Because if this doesn't go well, ECAS can win the game right here. We'll see how he does this. Right. We have our operations coming down. He's going to try to reset, get ready. Now Whitmore needs to get kills. Whitmore and his champs got to stay alive. So Whitmore and the Squire are going to need to stay alive. That knight is going to die all the time. Looks like the missile battery's still going, at least from one of the regions. So you can see Whitmore has 14 kills, trophies. The Squire here has 3. By the end of this, we'll count them up. Yes, Whitmore here is 17, and the Squire is at 4. And this is another risk to the Fremen, right? These Fremen Raiders will actually give trophies. So we take a look here. We're at 18, 7. So these Raiders will not, but the ones that have the Fremen color will, the ones that are called. So, yeah, right here, you know, the ECAS has
I'm glad to be of service.
2,600 hedge.
I'm bound to you, my
So
lady.
maybe he loses the spice field, 600 hedge. From that engagement alone, he just got 2,600. And now, right, this is what we were talking about a month ago, right, is 1, 2, 3. Capture the sanctuaries and he wins. Or capture these 2 and just go into this territory. Fremen's wiped. 800 hedge. 1,600 hedge. Go for the fucking Mac Daddy of them. Right? This is going to be worth more than two of his regions if you were to lose them. So at this point, yeah, just ignore. Don't go for this engagement. Don't go for one where you have a risk of losing your champs in Whitmore. Go for these undefended militia. Go for the buildings. Go for shit that's... Make them give it up. And honestly, it looks like... I can't tell if this was intentional or not, but... Deleting your militia is one option. Deleting your buildings is another option. It does make stuff kind of challenging to do anything, but... you know, he can win this before this can ever get off. This is just timing for him, right? 17 days here for spice tax, at which point he'll probably win. But before that, right, just go get the easy hedge. Go kill some militia. Go kill some Fremen harvesters. Ranged muskets, right? Musketeers shooting ornithopters and spice harvesters with a champion musket will actually give you hedge. It'll give you a trophy. So there's a lot of bullshit you can do to just, you know, eke out what you need to win at the very last second. It's really hard to counter. Here, smuggler land, still pillaging, still surprisingly not that rich. Fremen is just happily sitting here with their land and their influence. And we see, okay, looks like this assassination is nearly foiled.
Muskets are loaded.
You know, one option is just send these muskets and spread them out, one musket at each village, and each of them will have stealth detection, so they should be able to detect this as it's coming in. And then up here on the top, when you get the notification about stealth unit, you click on it, it'll bring you to the village where you saw it when it gets refreshed. So we'll look at ECAS here. ECAS should be able to see up here in a minute. when that assassin gets into White Rift. Yep. See, he clicked there, he saw, okay, it's at White Rift. If he wants to abandon that, he could, but he probably wants to keep White Rift right now, I imagine. Now, this is pretty risky for Atreides here. I mean, if he flies in, I think he beats Atreides' army with an epic quest. Yeah, this is acid lakes. You don't fuck with this. Uh-oh, he's gonna keep one guy in there. Good. Now, if you're ever in this situation, you have the wherewithal. Oh, bummer. Back in. There you go. So this guy, you just leave him right here in the border. Come on. So you move the warden right here into this neighboring region. And then you hit hold position. And in this region, he won't lose anything from Acid Lakes, but it'll still count as contesting it and capturing it. The other thing you can do is, if you're really lazy, is just have it attack a building. It'll just lock onto the building. You can do the rest of the shit. It won't get aggroed onto something else. Okay, he abandoned White Rift. Wow. So that's a little bit dangerous. Is this assassination going to go off? I don't think it should. I'm pretty sure it's foiled. Yeah, it should be foiled. Atreides, I believe, could annex this if he had the authority. Or better yet, Smuggler, right? Because it's the same throughout the entire map. Smuggler could take a couple free company and sprint them stealthily through here to capture this. That'd be the pro move. That'd probably be the win there. But Fremen probably does need to take this off of Smuggler, and definitely needs to take this off of ECAS. With the Lance Rad, we have some sail incentive going down. That's not going to do a whole lot at this point in the game. Judge and Lance Rad support. Oh my god, I love it. A Fremen base kill right now would make me so happy. But this can be it. This could be the game, right? If he attacks this, and ECAS takes this, right? He just abandoned a region, so we got a refund. He's got 500 authority, so cap 1, cap 2. He's going to make this a sanctuary so it can't be captured. Really good cycling here. So he's going to go from 1600 here to 1200. He's down 400, but if he sends his guys in here to kill these Fremen units, this is another, how much is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is basically a special region's worth of enemy edge, plus the Fremen Raiders. So all of these guys are potential hedge. This is, it looks like a lot, right? Oh gosh, 15, 20, 24, 2400 hedge in units here.
We will help if we
Potential
can.
hedge. Okay, here comes the noble Hawks. He's going in piecemeal, not ideal. You got one guy over here to deal with this warden, free up this this region here. If he fights an Acid Lakes under here, he'll be able to avoid some of the terrain while he attacks other people. This is a good engagement for ECAS. Yeah, he really doesn't want to lose Acid Lakes though. You see smugglers doing smuggler bullshit. You could actually just cap by his base and probably win this way, honestly. He's got so much fucking authority in the bank. So at this point, this is a smuggler's game, but certainly ECAS could have done this with a sprint for hedge, right? I think killing this stuff up here might win that game a little bit faster before he loses this stuff. A valiant attempt. And yeah, Fremen should really have kind of pressured this smuggler region for himself. It's the only special in the back end is caves. But man, that's a strong ECAS army. Just stomping everyone. Slow to rebuild, but powerful.
We're listening.
Seems a fit metaphor. It's always fun, the pink. The beautiful pink trajectory. think with Fremen, I can appreciate the hustle there. Yeah, the players are all random. I think that if you're Fremen, you want to try something sneaky like that, a little gov play or something more passive. You know, the counter combo you get kind of dictates how you play sometimes with random. And in this case, I don't know if that's maybe your best bet here, because again, you only have one special, so I actually think it would be pretty hard to win this on Fremen, unless you're going to be really aggressive and use that to take these and bunker up the specials that you can get. Bunker these up, and then just punish. So it has to be a pretty dominating Fremen play to actually do this with this kind of map spawn. Yes, you get a deep desert, really good backbone, but you basically take these, kill ECAS, take these in the center, and take these and hold and just fucking build hedge like crazy. Doable, but really, really, really hard. Really hard. Smugs had a great spawn. Bunch of territory, really good uncontested specials. Made a play to help Atreides that seemed to repay some dividends. ECAS, really good play, really good setup. Little unlucky in that really he has stuff that other people want, and other people have stuff that he wants, right? The middle, really strong bunker. This play into Atreides land I absolutely loved. Really, really strong.
My lady?
But I mean, even at this end of the game, ECAS wins that with, I think, slightly different choices, right? You wipe Fremen, just run through his stuff, right? 800, 1600, 2400. What was this? 3600? 3600, yeah. Absolutely insane. And what you can do if you're playing ECAS, you know, you do your normal control groups, then you just assign your champs to extra random numbers. And each time you go into battle and to fight, you just take that as you're having your guys in the back and they're shooting. Just take your champ and you get one hit on one unit, one hit on another unit, one hit on another. You don't have to kill them. You just have to get a hit on the unit before it dies in the combat, and you'll get the trophy. And so if you have a champion squire, you'll just go one hit, one hit, one hit, don't kill, and then have the rest of the units will just kill them as, you know, you're running through stuff. You can do that to that. You can do that to buildings and shift click with the rest of your army. And each village, you know, you can take out everything in a matter of seconds, and you'll spike 800 hedge from one of these Fremen villages. It's really, really powerful for these late game spikes. And if you take a look here, he was within spiking distance by the end there. Let's look at his hedge. Highest hedge here was, yeah, 28.3, right? 28.3. That's 1,200 hedge he needs, right? 28.3? No, I'm sorry, I can't do math. 1,700. So 800 here, 800 here, or 1,200 here, 800 here. That would do it. And I don't think Smugs is gonna run back to an airfield, fly up here, and run over to save Fremen. I don't think Fremen's gonna have the wherewithal to abandon the deep desert, to delete everything in time. I don't think Atreides, they might use a ceasefire for it, but there's all sorts of stuff you can do to kind of maximize it. And one thing is to not take engagements where you might lose. The other is to take engagements where you'll definitely win. And I think this Fremen bunker up here was definitely one of those. Really fun. Really, really, really cool game to watch. Always fun.